Chapter 1. Nutrition in Plants. Let's begin. All living organisms show different characteristics which differentiate them from non-living things. One of the most important features is that all living organisms need food for their survival. Plants can make their own food, but animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants to fulfill their food requirements. The process by which food is taken in and used by an organism is called nutrition. In this chapter, we will learn about nutrition in plants. Mode of nutrition. The term nutrition is derived from the Latin word nutria, which means to feed, support, and preserve. All living organisms need energy to grow. This energy is obtained from food. There are two modes of nutrition. 1. Autotrophic nutrition. 2. Heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. The process by which green plants prepare their own food through photosynthesis is called autotrophic nutrition. Organisms which follow the autotrophic mode of nutrition are called autotrophs, trophs nutrition. Autotrophs are the producers of food, so they are called producers. Photosynthesis, food-making process in plants. The term photosynthesis was given by Charles Reed Barnes in 1883. The process by which plants make their food in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means to make. Chlorophyll is the green pigment present in leaves to absorb sunlight. Sun's energy is used by leaves to synthesize using carbon dioxide and water. Starch produced as food is stored in various parts of plants and oxygen is released. The reaction that takes place during photosynthesis is given as follows. CO2, carbon dioxide, plus H2O, water, react in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll and give C12H22O11, starch, plus O2, oxygen. The process of using the energy in light to convert water and carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, starch, and oxygen is called photosynthesis. Stomata are the tiny pores present on the surface of leaves. These are surrounded by bean-shaped guard cells. Exchange of gases takes place through stomata. Carbon dioxide enters the leaf through these pores. Sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll and provides energy for photosynthesis. Let us demonstrate through an activity showing that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide. Plants obtain carbon dioxide from atmosphere through small openings called stomata, mostly present on the underside of the leaves. Let us demonstrate through an activity showing carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Chlorophyll. Photosynthesis occurs in leaves that contain green pigment called chlorophyll. Let us demonstrate through an activity that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Water and minerals. The presence of primary, secondary, and tertiary root hair increase the surface area of roots to absorb water and minerals from the soil. They then transport the water and minerals to the leaves. Water and soluble minerals are transported through xylem. The food prepared during photosynthesis is transported to the various parts of the plant by phloem. Both xylem and phloem are therefore called conducting tissues. Synthesis of nutrients other than carbohydrates. Apart from carbohydrates, plants also synthesize proteins and fats from these simple carbohydrates. Plants need nitrogen for the synthesis of proteins. Though nitrogen is present in abundance in the air, it cannot be utilized in its free form by the plants. The soil contains nitrifying bacteria which convert free atmospheric nitrogen into usable form of called nitrates. Farmers add nitrogen-rich fertilizers to the soil to increase its fertility. Plants absorb these nitrates from the soil and carry out protein synthesis. Heterotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms obtain food from plants or other animals is called heterotrophic nutrition. All animals and non-green plants are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophic plants. Parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. Parasitic plants. A parasitic plant is a non-green plant which feeds on other green plant or living organism for their growth. They develop special roots called haustoria which penetrates the host tissues and reach the vascular bundles. Some parasitic plants are total parasites while others may be partial parasites. Total parasites depend on the host for their food. For example, Cuscuta. Partial parasites depend upon host for water and minerals. For example, Mistletoe. The parasitic plant mostly damages the host plant by interfering with the growth of the host plant. Saprophytic plants. A saprophytic plant is one which obtains its nutrients from dead and decaying plants and animal matter. Saprorotting, phyton plants. These are non-green plants with no leaves. Saprophytic plants release digestive enzymes which break the complex organic compounds into simpler ones. These are then absorbed by them. Fungi, such as bread molds and mushroom, and some bacteria are saprophytes. Some fungi like mushroom and yeast are useful whereas other causes diseases in plants and animals. Some are even used in medicines. Insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants derive some or most of their nutrients by trapping and consuming animals, mainly insects. They are green plants and grow in places where the soil is deficient in some nutrients like nitrogen. Some examples of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, Drosera, and the Venus flytrap. The pitcher of the pitcher plants is a modified leaf. The apex of the leaf is modified into the lid to cover the mouth of the pitcher. The inner lining is hairy. When an insect visits the pitcher, it gets trapped and entangled into the hair. The digestive juices are secreted in the pitcher and hence the insect is digested. Symbiotic plants. When two organisms live mutually by sharing shelter and nutrients, their association is called symbiosis or symbiotic relationship. Lichens are an example of symbiotic relationship in which a fungi and an algae live mutually together. The algae is autotrophic which prepare food for both by photosynthesis. The fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the algae. The roots of leguminous plants have nodules. Rhizobium bacteria lives in the root nodule of plants, where they convert atmospheric nitrogen into soluble nitrates. These soluble nitrates are then used by the plants. Rhizobium cannot make its food and therefore depends on the plant for it. Thus, they share a symbiotic relationship with the plants. Replenishment of nutrients in the soil. Growing crops one after the other reduces soil fertility. Manures and fertilizers are added to the soil to meet the depleting amount of nutrients, especially nitrogen present in the soil. So, manure and fertilizers replenish the soil. Besides nitrogen, they also contain potassium and phosphorus, needed by plants for healthy growth. The symbiotic relationship of rhizobium and leguminous plants such as pea is a natural way of replenishing the soil. Farmers normally grow leguminous plants alternatively with crops to restore the nitrogen content of the soil.